All right. So, hello, world. I am so excited for our December featured entrepreneur. Say hi to the world, Carl Michel.
Hi to the world. What's going on, family? It's the young exec, Carl Michel. Some people know me as King Carl. Other people just call me Carl. That's it.
All right. So, young executive. So, for our December feature, I want to introduce you a little bit more to the world.
Okay.
And I'm excited because usually I do these interviews via Zoom.
Yes.
Yes. But today I happen to be in Stamford and you happen to have the #1 podcasting studio in Connecticut.
Oh, yes.
So why not?
Why not?
Yes.
So it's definitely an honor and privilege to have you here. I'm glad we could switch it up a little bit for my interview. But listen, over the years, I've watched you grow this into something incredible. So salute to you and the Big Black Book NYC. You've done several events just to get yourself out there. You've been to several networking events, and you've put on a lot of your own, right? So one of the biggest Black business directories in all of New York City. So that's a huge accomplishment. Salute to you and all that you do.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So let's talk a little bit about what you do. So
yes.
You are a best-selling author.
Uh-huh. What else?
And I remember that game. And you branched out from there into a lot of different areas. So
Absolutely.
You are now a writing coach.
Uh-huh.
You also have the Royal Communications Center.
Uh-huh.
And
what else? No.
And you also have a show, youth empowerment show that you are the producer of.
Absolutely.
And you are a prayer warrior, which also is something that you don't necessarily brand yourself as, but that is part of yourself. So
that's a blessing.
Yes. So share a little bit about how you went from best-selling author into all of these other areas.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you just for even mentioning those things. All of them are near and dear to my heart, for real. The book, launching pad to my career. And when God blessed me with the idea for my book, I thought I was gonna have like Drake level success, right? I thought I'd be double platinum selling books. I thought I'd sell like 2 million copies and things of that nature. But even though you have a great product, it still has to be marketed, and that's the hard part, right? They think, a lot of people think writing the book is the hard part, but marketing it and getting yourself out there is the most challenging part, because you can have the best product in the world, but if no one knows about it, it's not going to sell, right?
Yeah.
So I took Grant Cardone's advice, right? He said, if skill level is the same, the only difference between you and the #1 person in your industry is obscurity, meaning no one knows you yet. So change the fact that nobody knows you. So I started to do everything that I could to change the fact that no one knew me at the time, right? So I built up my social media following. I started doing a lot of interviews, not just locally, or not even like at that time we weren't doing a lot of Zoom interviews. Right. It was more so in person. Can you get to the station interview? So I did interviews in Cali, shout out to the Bay Area. I did interviews in Atlanta, Chicago, Houston, DC, Maryland, Virginia. So literally went all over New York, Connecticut, just putting myself out there as many places as I could. Just to promote my brand, because I knew that this was a message that everyone needed to hear. So that's how everything started. I believed in my product more than anything else. Like I literally, if Jay-Z walked in the room, I would want to tell him about my book. Like that's how much belief I had in it. And it was KRS-One who once said, if hip hop has the ability to corrupt young minds, it also has the power to uplift them. So that was the overall theme of my book, 365 Hip Hop Daily Motivational Quotes. I released it without any publishing experience. I got a lot of coaching and a lot of help, and it was blessed to go #1 on Amazon. So #1 on the #1 platform in the world, not just in the U.S., but also in Canada, also in the UK, also in Japan. And I've never visited Japan or the UK yet, but those are just some of the places we've had a great impact in. And because of that success, I've been able to, apply that with the passion that I have for the youth, created the Youth Empowerment Show, became an award-winning executive producer, went on to become a full-time motivational speaker, even though I didn't want to at first. I was scared of the term motivational speaker, but I embraced it because I felt like it was God calling me to do that, right? He once told me, don't be ashamed to share your story. It will inspire others. From there, during the pandemic, I was growing the Youth Empowerment Show so large. Started off from like 20 people, 20 kids in the audience to over 800 to 1,000 kids, depending on which venue we went to. And during the pandemic, everything stopped.
Yeah.
So had the pandemic pivot. I became a writing coach. Helped. Right now, we're at 75 best-selling authors with the Write a Legacy program. And all of that success helped me. Sorry about that. All of that success helped me fund the Royal Communication Center. And for the last 8 months, this has become the #1 recording studio, podcast studio, and photography studio in the state of Connecticut. So that's the short version of how we got here.
That's the short version.
That's the short
without
version.
the blood, sweat, and tears,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, without all the details. But yeah, that's what we did.
So I think that, that's really a good example of how you can take one product, just like one thing, and turn it into many things. Like it can multiply. And so, I am curious where you get your inspiration from, because I know that you started out with hip hop. So I'm assuming from the title that hip hop is one of the places you draw your inspiration from. But even beyond that, you want to help the youth. You took your earnings from your other business and reinvested it back into growing your business, or a new business rather. So where do you get your inspiration from?
So my inspiration draws from a lot of different sources. My dad is a huge inspiration for me. He is the hardest working person I know. Since I was young, I understand that it's a privilege to have a dad that actually cares and that is actually working, that's actually doing well for himself, right? I watched my dad struggle from the bottom to the top. I was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. With the efforts of my dad and my uncle, we were able to come to America and make a better life for ourselves. I watched my dad literally work 2 and 3 jobs, department store, parking lot attendant, and he worked at the hospital. 3 jobs to just fund our lives, And the crazy thing about it, we worked 3 jobs, we were still broke, But he did what he had to do to make sure that his kids had a better life than he did. I always wanted more, but I also learned from his work ethic. That's why I could grind and be in the studio all day, every day, because I watched my dad do it, having multiple jobs. So that's a big one, but also wanting more for myself, but also wanting more for my future kids, right? I feel like leaving a legacy has more, it's more than just for your personal self or even just your bloodline, which is huge.
Right.
But leaving a legacy is how many people you can impact. And that's what I'm all about, right? Impacting the generations. Tupac once said, I'm not saying I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee I will spark the brain of the person who does. So I like to embrace that mission and just continue on with it, right? I spark the minds that will change the world forever, So that's another one. And also I've seen how much these kids need a change. They need more examples of success, right? I didn't start becoming who I was until I saw a young black man having success, right? That young black man ended up becoming my mentor. But it was like before that, I didn't really see any positive examples or real tangible ones, right? You see the artists online, or at the time you could see the artists on TV, or you could see the athletes on TV, or you could see a drug dealer or hustler on the streets, but you don't really see for yourself a positive example of success, right? So I decided to be that example.
Yeah. Well, that's powerful. But I mean, and your very first example that you started with of your inspiration was someone you physically saw.
Right.
Your father.
Right.
So it is powerful. And then having that relationship, because all of your work does revolve around relationships. So it's beyond just seeing, an example, but is there a relationship with that example? So like if I read your book, right, then that's a relationship in a way with you, but also with the words on the page.
Right.
And if someone comes here, right, to the communication center, there's the podcast studio, they're building, relationships through their podcast. So I feel like really it all starts with, not just being an example, but being able to be accessible.
That's big.
Which you are, which is amazing, because not everyone is like that,
For now, right?
For now. Okay. So
I'm saying you might not be able to reach me soon. I don't know.
A wall you're planning on building.
No. It's not. It's not about a wall. It's about touching the people, but also protecting your energy.
Well, true.
Right.
Yes.
So I had this example because we had a youth empowerment show not too long ago, and we had some new people come on board as interns. And I was like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I was so busy. I didn't even get a chance to meet you, like our new interns.
Yeah.
And one of the people that were collaborating with us, she was like, Carl, not everyone that works for Oprah meets Oprah.
This is true.
And I was like, oh, shoot, I felt good hearing that, because it's like, man, you're right. As much as you would like to connect with every single person that is a part of your company, you're not always going to have an opportunity to, true. But your impact is still there, So I love being accessible, but it's going to get to a point where I'm not as accessible, but I'm still leaving an impact and making a legacy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it would be impossible to be millions of places.
Yeah.
So yes, but how would you? So this kind of actually ties in with this. So as you've been growing, right, and expanding, it does take up more time. It does take more energy. So you want that business, you want that success, but also you want that lifestyle. So how do you find a way to build as an entrepreneur, but still have that peace and that balance?
Great question.
How do you do that? What are your tips?
So peace and balance has everything to do with the people around you and the systems you build, right? So system stands for save yourself some time, energy, and money. Ooh. Systems. Get the right systems in place, right? You can't answer every single text message. You can't answer every single email. You can't answer every single DM if you scale your business to the level that I know it can be, right? You can build a 6-figure business. You can build a 7, 8, 9-figure business. But if you're building a business that big, there's going to be some calls you can't take. There's going to be some emails you can't answer. There's going to be some texts and DMs. You can't get through all that. You need a buffer. You need a strong team or automated systems to be able to handle that for you. All right. And in most cases, depending on how big you want to scale, you need both. All right. Yeah. And the last element to that is you got to have people to keep you grounded. Systems in place, the right team, and also loved ones, or sometimes liked ones, to keep you grounded, right? So the systems create an atmosphere of automation and scalability for your business. The right team creates a good culture for your business and the ability for you to not have to have your hands in every single pot, right? And then being grounded with the right support system is going to help you when the business does scale, when it does grow, when you are being recognized, when you walk on the street, or you know what I mean? Yeah. Or sometimes you got so many interviews going on, or people, you're starting to be more of a public figure. You need the people in place to, oh, that's Carl. That's not the young executive. It's not King Carl. Oh, that's Carl. Yeah. So you need that to keep you grounded, because people lose the sense of who they are.
Yeah, right. Keeping that identity is in check.
It's sometimes. It's important.
It's really important.
Like, dude, I know you. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I know you. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say has been the biggest factor in your success?
God, easy.
Okay.
That's easy.
Tell the people
Right.
about that.
So faith, faith in God and my faith in myself.
Okay.
We don't have enough belief.
Mm.
That's the problem. We look at what's in front of us instead of looking at what's ahead of us. That's a bar. I hope.
Just.
Oh yeah, go ahead. There we go.
That's your favorite one,
That's
right?
my favorite one. That's a bar. That's a bar. Sometimes we focus too much on what's in front of us and not enough on what's ahead of us, right? A lot of people have sight, but not a lot of people have vision.
Sight versus vision.
A lot of people have sight. Oh, my circumstances say this. No one in my neighborhood is successful. I don't have enough resources. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have that, or this is going wrong, and all of that stuff is true.
Of course.
But
right.
You're focusing on the wrong thing. You're not even looking at the bigger picture. If you get past this hurdle, if you get past this obstacle, you'll gain the skill that you need to move forward. Mm-hmm. But in that gaining of the skill you need to move forward, you'll get closer to your ultimate picture. But we spend so much time focusing on the obstacle, we never get past the obstacle to get to our success.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say, don't ask God to guide your footsteps if you're not willing to move your feet.
Ooh, now that one is bars. Applause. It's true. People ask for stuff, but then they don't want to move their feet. It's so true.
So you might say, God, I need a cake. I need a cake so bad. God, I just need a cake, whatever the cake is for you. Mm-hmm. But God will give you the butter. He'll give you the pan. He'll give you the flour that you need, the milk. He'll give you all the ingredients. But you don't even recognize you got everything you need. You're like, God, I need a cake. I need a cake. You got the cake. You have all the elements right here. If you thought creatively, if you had vision, if you put in the work, you could assemble this and throw it in the oven and let the oven do its thing. You got a cake in front of you, but you don't recognize it. You got sight, but no vision.
Well, you also said the oven too. So,
right. Ooh, yeah.
You want to talk about the oven?
Go ahead, break it down.
Or you want me to say what came to mind when you said oven?
I love to hear it. I love to hear it.
So I've asked God for a cake. He's given me ingredients. Mm-hmm. So that means, obviously, I have to do something.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But after I do what I can do, I'm not an oven. Mm-hmm. I don't cook at 350 mm-hmm. or whatever the cake needs to be baked at.
Right.
So then I put it in the oven. So it's kind of like I'm giving it back to God and saying, well, now here's my best. I tried to create some flavors and everything, but I can't finish it. Mm-hmm. And then what were you thinking?
That's where systems come in place, right? But that's also where God does his thing also, right? Mm-hmm. So that just proves we have an opportunity to participate in the miracle working process.
Yeah.
You're participating in miracles.
Yeah.
We just want the miracle. I need the cake. But you can participate in that miracle.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I put all the ingredients together. It's perfect. But I can't physically make this thing bake and rise. No. Right? God's like, all right, bet you did your part. I gave you everything. You did your part. I'm going to do my part. And I'm also going to connect you with more people that take this vision to the next level. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's like we're participating in the miracle working process. Mm-hmm. I had to have faith to see, you know what? This, and this could potentially be a cake.
Yeah.
It's hard to see that. And it's even harder when no one around you sees that. Yeah. That's faith. Yeah. You know, when I was writing this, I was in my parents' crib, 3 a.m, typing up. My mom comes like, what are you doing on a computer at 3 o'clock in the morning? I said, Mom, I'm writing a book. It's going to be hot. She's like, boy, if you don't get off my computer and take your butt to sleep.
It wasn't even your computer.
It wasn't even my computer. She's like, if you don't get off the computer and take your butt to sleep. And I was like, no, I'm writing a book. It's going to be good. But she didn't see that. Mm-hmm. But God didn't give her my vision. It was my vision, right? She was looking at it as a waste of time and lack of sleep. And I'm looking at it as my ticket. And it ended up being the very thing that was the launching pad of my career.
Right.
But she didn't see that.
Right.
You can get discouraged at that point, like, oh, my family don't see what I'm doing. They don't believe in me. No, they don't get it. But it wasn't for them to get. It's for you to get. Mm-hmm. God selects people to give them a vision. And if he selected you and put something in your heart, he's already given you everything you need to execute. If you're lacking network, he's going to provide that. If you're lacking clients, he's going to provide that. If you're lacking the resources or the end results, he's going to provide that. So faith in God and faith in myself, easy. When you ask me what was the key component to my success, that's it right there. Yeah. Easy. All right. So having the vision, you are hand selected to do whatever it is that God has called you to do. Some people might not know what their purpose is, right? My purpose is to impact and inspire. I know that, right? The ways that I do that might be different from yours. It's all good, right? But I know that that's my purpose on this earth, to impact and inspire. So knowing that, my vision for how I'm going to do that is going to look different from what you thought that I should be doing or anything like that, or you thought you should be doing for yourself. It's all good. But my vision is my vision. I'm going to execute it.
Yeah. I think that also gives us power. We have more power than you realize, because you're talking about like being the actual participant in the miracle, and you're like, I need a miracle, because then you're thinking you're helpless. I don't mean you, like it's a universal you, right? So people thinking that they're helpless, but they're not. By being a participant, it's allowing you to find that power.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good.
One of them buttons says something about finding your power, but I don't remember which one it is. So don't.
I just start pointing out.
I was doing a podcast club earlier with these kids in school. So yeah.
All right. Some of them were kind of goofy, so we'll leave that as a mystery.
Yeah. It's all
Find
good.
your power. Okay, I did a little voice. So what would the next level of success look like for you?
I'm about to today I'm actually about to map out what my my December looks like. And I should have did it a couple of days ago. But I'm about to map out what my December looks like, and pretty soon I'm going to map out what my 2022 looks like. All right. So the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. All right. So I need to write the vision and make it plain. I'm a big believer in speaking things into existence. I'm a big believer in manifesting your destiny. I'm a big believer in faith, right? So faith is not saying I got to see it to believe it. Faith is saying I believe it and then I will see it, right? So if I write it down and I'm like, oh, if I write it down and then break it down, I know that I can do it. So here's the key to breaking it down. Whatever your end result is, work backwards. Okay, if I want to make X amount of dollars, I need to do X amount of activity that will lead to these type of results. Okay, what's that activity? If I do, if I need, let's say, $10,000 for the month, what would that take? Well, that would take X amount of clients. Okay, what would it take to get X amount of clients? Okay, this is the activity that I need to do on a daily basis to get X amount of clients. And if I get X amount of clients, I have these results. You just work backwards on whatever your goal is.
Right.
So if it's losing or even gaining weight, you work backwards. If it's whatever it is that you're looking to do, find out what the end result is, and also find out the daily disciplines or the daily actions or activities that you need to do in order to make that happen. All right. So next level for me is doing everything I've been doing better than I was doing it.
do it better. So improvement, growth.
Improvement, absolutely. I gotta be better than I was yesterday.
Right.
Yesterday, I was so unorganized. Yesterday, my systems were out of whack. Yesterday, I didn't have all the key components to my team in place. I need to get better, right? I'm not good with automations. I got 400 text messages I haven't gotten back to. My calendars be all over the place, and sometimes, like yesterday, things pop up that's unexpected that throws off my evening. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, I need to make sure that I have things that are rock solid so that I don't get thrown off by little things, right? So getting better is the goal.
I love it because actually you're acknowledging that it's not perfect.
Right.
And you're actually willing to face it and work backwards to, so your one goal, say automation, that's your goal, work backwards for like how to get all those little automations. So I think that's really powerful. We're going to next levels because not everyone takes the time to be honest with themselves.
Ooh, that's tough, right? You got to look yourself in the mirror and face reality. And the reality may be you're not as great as far as executing as you thought you were. And if that's the case, you're not getting the results you want, then what do we need to do to fix that? I'm all about continuous achievement or continuous improvement. There's a Japanese term called Kaizen, Kaizen, if I'm not mistaken. Kaizen is the term for continuous achievement, continuous improvement, always getting better, right? So that's how I live my life on that Kaizen. I always want to get better. So in order to get better, you have to identify your strengths and identify your opportunities. I don't even want to call them weaknesses.
Right.
It's opportunities for growth, right? So I want to recognize what those things are so I can be better at it, right? That's why Kobe Bryant was watching game footage all the time. He studied his craft. If he missed a shot, he would practice that. He would go back and review and say, oh my goodness, I could have played better on defense over here. I could have did this differently, or I missed that layup, or I missed that shot. I need to get better. But he's not going to, if he doesn't take the time to identify that, he won't get better. Right?
No, he won't. He would have never been Kobe that
never
we
been
know
Kobe,
and miss.
Man.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Black Mamba.
Yeah. So maybe we've touched on it because you've said so much, but I am curious, what do you feel the secret sauce is that many entrepreneurs miss?
Secret sauce. We did touch on it, but scalability is the secret sauce. Scalability is the secret sauce. The problem is we try to do everything on our own as a solopreneur, and you cannot scale that way. You can't even you can't operate on. I know we use the term small business, but you can't operate with a small mindset. You're always going to be small if you're not thinking scaling big, right? How do I get bigger and better? Okay, the way you're doing things right now, it'll work when you have 10 clients. It's not going to work when you have 10,000.
Right.
This ain't working.
Right.
Once you get 100 clients. This ain't working once you get 1,000 clients. You can't do that.
Right.
The biggest thing that I messed up, I had a multi-millionaire partner with me.
Okay.
And I was not ready for that type of growth in my business because I was operating from this little tiny perspective. Oh yeah. If 30 people jump on my free webinar, after the webinar is done, I could call those 30 people and follow up with them, see what they like best about the webinar. But what happened when 300, 400 people jump on the webinar? I was not ready for that scale. I can't call 400 people after this call, especially if everyone want to talk for 10, 15, 20 minutes. I can't talk to everyone. I missed so much opportunity because what I was doing at this super small level wasn't scalable. When what I was doing became scalable, then the money flowed with it. The operations and the business flowed with it. Now I could make thousands and thousands, 6 figures, 7 figures once I get myself in a scalable position. But if I'm personally making all the phone calls, how you going to
30 is even a lot to make, to be honest.
how you going to get to 1,000? You can barely get to 30.
Right.
You can't operate like this. So the biggest thing entrepreneurs miss is scalability. They think they have to do everything by themselves. They don't get the right systems. They don't get the right team. They don't execute. And if you can't execute, then you can't win. You're going to have irate customers. You're going to miss opportunities. You can't follow up with people. You can't email people. Texting is a way to scale. Emails is a way to scale. Like, there's so many things that are missing if you don't have those systems in place.
Yeah. That automation. Yeah. So, Carl, Michel.
That's me.
It's been a joy.
Yes, let's go.
Wait, one more time.
Let's go.
I know it's your favorite sound effect. So no, you did. You dropped a lot of pearls of wisdom, gems.
Thank you.
Royalty. So I would like you to tell the world how they can get in touch with you. How can
Follow
they
me on everything. I think I'm going to change my name soon. It's going to be King Carl officially pretty soon.
Okay.
But everything is Young Executive. YOUNGEXEKUTIVE at Young Executive. Website is youngexecutive.com. All my social media is at Young Executive. Emails at Young Executive. So info at youngexecutive.com. Anything you need, just type it. It's YOUNGEXEKUTIVE. The K stands for King. The K stands for Kappa. The K stands for Kaizen, again, which is Japanese for continuous improvement, continuous achievement. Royal Communication Center. Everything is at Royal Center CT. Currently, we have one location in Connecticut, but in Stamford, Connecticut to be exact, my hometown. But there's going to be several locations opening up pretty soon. So we're going to scale this thing too.
All right. So, oh my goodness, I should have drank some water. So, okay. So thank you I really appreciate your time, your energy, and
pleasure was all mine.
It was fun to do this here. I have not used the podcast studio before. So thank you for opening up your space.
Glad we could be your first.
And yes, so that's it. Is there any last words of wisdom you'd like to share?
Well, first, I'd like to thank you once again and congratulate you for all that you've been doing. So salute to you and the platform that you've grown and built and grown. Last words of wisdom. Believe in yourself more than anybody who doubts you.
Ooh.
Believe in yourself more than anybody who doubts you. Sometimes it's not your enemy, but the inner me that holds you back. Doubt can kill more dreams than failure ever will. Put faith in God and put faith in yourself. You got this.
All right. I love it. Thank you so much again for your
you.
time. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
All right. Thank you.
Here's your camera crew.
All right. No, we're good. We're good. Press the applaud button. Press the air horns. Let's rock. The yellow one. The yellow one. The yellow one. Let's go. She got it. She got it. Go ahead.